Hello all people. Today we're going to be speaking approximately a technology fiction movie referred to as each hero, just a mean guy trying to preserve his family glad. But his family, they treat him like garbage. No appreciate in any respect. Akiro decides to upgrade their living scenario and buys a new house in a swanky community, interested in their sake. His children, Mary and Tahai, cross nuts after they see the massive house, wondering it's their new living. However, it is surely the tiny one at the facet. Cairo did his satisfactory hoarding and saving for years, but his ungrateful children couldn't care much less to lighten the temper. Akiro attempts to tell them he got their favorite grub, but nobody even can pay attention. They simply soar and head out to devour someplace else, leaving negative Akiro to chow down all on my own. One day he works past due and then returns home as he's on foot through a darkish alley. He spots a gang of thugs beating up some poor dude for cash. He thinks about stepping in, being the hero and all, but fear takes over and he chickens out proper. Then he catches Mary watching him, unhappiness plastered all over her face. We couldn't have it, calling him a coward earlier than storming off back domestic. Its hero just sits in the front in their house considering the which means of his lifestyles. And then out of nowhere a canine comes strolling up looking for new domestic. The caller reads, "Her call is Hanko. Please take excellent care of her." Poor Cairo feels horrific for the pooch, but his wife does not need to permit the canine in and asks him to do away with it. She additionally hands him his medical record announcing he desires every other checkup. The very next day, Akiro heads over to the health center handiest to obtain a devastating blow. He's recognized with a third-level cancer and it's unfold for the duration of his entire frame. Completely beaten by way of this earth-shattering news, he hastily dials his spouse's range, however earlier than he can utter a word. She all at once ends the call as though that weren't sufficient. His children do not trouble selecting up their telephones either, leaving Akiro feeling thoroughly abandoned. In a nation of depression, every hero takes Hanako, his unswerving canine, for a walk, pondering whether or not his own family will shed a tear. When they eventually find out about his terminal illness with a heavy coronary heart, he leaves Hanako by the roadside and makes a determined getaway to a nearby park seeking solace in its serene environment. However, to his astonishment, Hanko refuses to be separated from him and follows him there in a moment of vulnerability. Akiro breaks down into tears, presenting heartfelt apologies to his faithful canine partner. As he weeps, his interest is interested in a person sitting on a park bench just in front of him. Suddenly, a splendid mild illuminates the sky, growing large with the aid of the second earlier than Akiro could make sense of the scenario. A large item hurtles down from above, tragically hanging both him and the person beside him, resulting of their on-the-spot loss of life. However, Akiro's tale doesn't give up there astonishingly. He awakens the following day within the very same park wherein he had met his untimely give-up. Hanako is alive and stays faithfully by way of his facet. As Akiro reaches for his glasses, he realizes that his vision is now crystal clear. Even without them at a loss for words and uncertain approximately what lies in advance, he resolves to carry on along with his day, unsure of the bizarre twist of destiny that awaits him again at domestic. Things take a turn for the bizarre. Akiro's hand undergoes a startling transformation, morphing right into a weapon-like tool. To his horror, he involuntarily vomits out of weapon the soup he had simply consumed. His face disintegrates, revealing a complicated digital machine nestled within his head. His whole frame starts off evolved remodeling and establishing everywhere, showing mechanical components underneath the skin. It seems the weird item that had prompted his demise the previous night time was certainly a result of a grave errors devoted by using the aliens who were working it. In their try and rectify their mistake, they resurrected Akiro as a machine infused with emotions. Now he possesses superhuman energy and the potential to harness the energy of any equipment recognized to humankind. The name of the dude who turned into in park with Akiro the day gone by is Hiro. It seems he acquired the superpower too. So Hiro is going to his pal now, Yuki, and without breaking a sweat, he shows him how he can shoot a chook out of the sky with his finger. He then brings a marvel now Yuki to a parking lot and showcases how he can flow motors with his thoughts now. Yuki's jaw drops to the floor as he attempts to system what the heck just happened. Meanwhile, Akiro continues to be pressured about this morning. As he is walking on his manor home, he spots a poor injured pigeon mendacity on the side of the road. Akiro choices it up and the hen's wounds magically heal and it takes to the air into the sky. Just then, his heightened listening to strength causes him to seize a determined plea from a mom begging the docs to shop her son's lifestyles without lacking a beat. Akiro follows the sound and discovers an unwell child laying in a health center bed. Akiro gently touches the kid's face and like a few straight-up sorcery, the little dude starts off evolved recuperation up just like that pigeon. Each hero gladly tells the child that the whole lot is now alright and with a coronary heart complete of happiness. He heads home wondering at the notable things he can do the following day. Now Yuki is bullied by means of his classmates and Hiro steps in ready to unleash all his powers on the bully. But now Yuki manages to prevent him just in time. He realizes that Hiro's newfound power turns him right into a real killer and it terrifies him. Meanwhile, in Hiro's elegance, there is a girl named Chan who has a crush on him, and immediately she confesses her feelings, leaving Hiro in a kingdom of shock. Moving on, we meet Hiro's mom who works as a waitress in a eating place. His father is a rich guy, however unfortunately he deserted her for every other girl. Hiro despises his father, but constantly is of the same opinion to sign up for him and his new circle of relatives for dinner. His step-siblings adore Hiro and are continually thrilled to see him, however he cannot deliver himself to reciprocate those emotions as he continuously thinking about his terrible mom. One night, as Hiro walks home, he overhears the blissful sounds of a glad-owned family. These sounds remind him of his father's new lifestyles. Fueling his anger filled with rage, Hiro breaks into the own family's home, kills the parents, and chases their daughter through the hallways. Driven with the aid of revenge, he harnesses his powers to devote those heinous acts. While someplace else, Akiro dedicates himself to restoration unwell youngsters in the health facility the following day. The shocking homicide makes headlines in and not using of bullets found. Now Yuki turns into apprehensive that his pal may be in the back of it. Hiro offers now Yuki in great amount of money, however this proposition most effective fuels their argument. Now, Yuki cannot fathom how Hiro can casually take harmless lives, and he does not want to be his buddy anymore. Disappointed by his buddy's decision, Hiro returns domestic nevertheless in shock. He discovers that his mother has been identified with pancreatic most cancers. Crushed with sorrow, Hiro breaks down in his mom's palms, promising her that he might not permit her die. Meanwhile, at a CHRO's home, his child gets busted stealing money from his mother's handbag even as Mary drops a bombshell saying she ain't interested by going to college. The complete damn family erupts in chaos. Neri, with a wicked smirk, laughs at her old man's cluelessness. She desires to make it Cairo feel as depressing as she does, and rattling she succeeds. Akiro's ears trap wind of now Yuki praying to God, begging to forestall his friend from killing people. Old man realizes he is speak me approximately Hiro. Without wasting a second, Akiro jets over to him. They sit down having an extended coronary heart-to-heart and speculates that aliens have to have reconstruct. Did each of them? Now, Yuki gives to educate Akiro based totally on what he noticed, so he can stop Hiro from killing more humans. The subsequent day they meet at junkyard, in which now Yuki teaches him how to shoot without bullets, the use of his arms. Akiro fails again and again once more, but after attempting time and again, Akiro finally succeeds. Meanwhile, Hiro and his mom find themselves on the doctor's workplace. The medical doctor shocks them each with unexpected information. Cancer cells have disappeared without a hint. As they make their manner again domestic, their path is suddenly blocked via a set of 6 policemen. It appears they're here to interrogate Hiro concerning a sequence of gruesome murders. Hiro's mom, pressured and worried, questions the officials what her son is accused of. Hearing this, Hiro takes to the air strolling, though the policemen controlled to seize up to him. Hiro shoots 3 of the officers, leaving absolute confidence that he's at the back of the murders. Then he turns on his jet engine and flies away tomorrow. His face graces the news, branding him as a risky crook. She does not accept as true with he's a murderer, so without hesitation, she gives him safe haven in her home where she lives with her grandmother. Meanwhile, Akiro has honed his skills, becoming a grasp of finger-based totally shooting. He becomes thirsty again and grabs the sodium drink from the container. Now, Yuki speculates that the water have to serve as a gas for our bodies. However, Akiro starts off evolved feeling ache from his frame and shoots out the liquid much like he did last time with the soup. Now Yuki quick realizes that it can be the sodium contents it really is inflicting his body to malfunction, and they will be capable of use this to their advantage later. Since Hiro, in hiding the media, starts off evolved attacking his mother, she gets threats at the net and is burdened on the streets without a manner to shield her. Hiro can't assist, however, cry. Unable to bear the load of guilt any further, his mother commits the unthinkable. The devastating information reaches Hiro via a information cham, shattering him to his core. Overwhelmed via sorrow, his emotions remodel into a raging fury and he swears to precise vengeance on all people who has spoken unwell of his loved mom. Hiro makes use of his powers to hack into the commenters, computers and smartphones. He starts taking pictures all and sundry through their tools displays, inflicting mass deaths across the Usuva. That night, Hiro shows Eye on his cool robotic arm, looking to prove he ain't no regular human. He takes her in his palms and they fly to the sky as they soar over the towering skyscrapers. He makes a promise to be via her aspect all the time, but matters take a dark flip while a group of unsolved murders begin freaking out the whole United States of America, using anyone bonkers. 5 survivors who narrowly escaped being murdered spilled the beans to the press, claiming they saw Hiro on their cell phone screens just earlier than getting shot. That equal nighttime, Cheyenne is going to the kitchen and feels something beside her. She turns around best to peer. A group of squad is pointing their guns at her. Hiro grabs her without delay at the same time as the soldiers begin firing at them. He turns round and retaliates with fury, killing every one of the soldiers. When the whole lot settles, he notices that Cheyenne is already useless. With Cheyenne gone, heroes were given no purpose to grow to be a great man. He decides to kill everybody inside the United States of America and flies away through the window, leaving the police in the back of. Akira unearths out approximately Hiro's sinister plans and pleads along with his own family to ditch their smartphones and simply stay home for the day. But as consistent with Ordinary, they ain't exactly keen on listening. Meanwhile, Hiro hacks every single phone in Tokyo. He broadcasts a message asserting an all-out battle towards Japan. He's hell-bent on wiping out each person, all 120 million human beings, no time to waste. He begins capturing through a big billboard, and inside a minute, hundreds of people drop lifeless and the city goes into utter chaos. Akira manages to hijack the sign, and now Yuki urges anyone to discard their telephones without any manner to attain the hundreds. Hiro chooses a right-away assault on human beings by launching a couple of missiles at the town, inflicting explosions all round. In the midst of chaos, Akira locates Hiro and attempts to convince him to forestall. However, his words prove futile as they zoom through the metropolis. Hiro follows closely in the back of the antique guy. He unleashes a barrage of missiles, but come what may, Akira manages to avert them, leaving explosions proper in the back of him. They sprint via an underground tunnel and Akira nearly receives smacked by oncoming vehicles. As they get closer to Mary, the old guy starts listening to her determined pleas for help. Her constructing has been hit by means of one of the missiles. The vintage man rushes closer to his daughter, but Hiro catches him off protect, attacking from at the back of. Hiro's strike messes up his flying gadget, causing Akira to crash land on the facet of a constructing. Each hero tries to retaliate, firing pictures at Hiro, but he effortlessly dodges them and kicks Antique Man through a close by constructing. They crash right into a helicopter, sending it careening into the partitions and exploding. Finally, they land on a rooftop. Akira pleads with Hiro to prevent the killing, but Hiro isn't having it. He pulls out a bottle of water attempting to recharge, but Akira destroys it. Hiro expenses at him, snatching the water from the vintage guy and guzzling it down, fueled up. He unleashes a flurry of missiles, causing Akira to fly away. Hiro chases after him as they ascend into the top surroundings. Hiro fires extra missiles, pushing Akira even in addition into outer area. Hiro punches him and takes this possibility to grab the vintage man, planning to finish the fight with a final attack. However, rather than missiles, Hiro shoot out. The sodium drink replaced via Akira. Hiro starts falling down as his body malfunctions. Old man morphs his arm right into a rocket launcher and fires more than one missiles at Hiro, inflicting him to fall to the earth. Amidst a chain of explosions, Akira fast flies back towards the building where his daughter is at and sees Mary lying immobile at the floor, desperate to keep her. He tries everything till subsequently he manages to revive her father and daughter, include tears streaming down the vintage guy's face. Suddenly, Hiro, who has survived the sooner fall, returns to take his vengeance, discovering that Mary is the vintage guy's daughter. He ruthlessly assaults her, taking pictures her within the belly. Akira intervenes, however Hiro beats him in front of his daughter. Villain seizes Mary and drags her to the brink of the constructing. He desires to make the father revel in the same depression he feels every day, so he hurls Mary off the building, witnessing his own family in mortal risk. Old man gathers all his electricity and soars in the direction of Hiro. In a fierce collision, Akira strikes, severs Hiro's arm. Father quick dives down, dealing with to seize Mary simply in time moments earlier than she hits the ground. Miraculously, Mary awakens, her accidents healed by using her father's power. She realizes that her old man is a real superhero as she watches him fly off, determined to store as many humans as feasible. Now Yuki invitations him to play the modern online game. However, while he turns around, he sees that Hiro has disappeared. Moral of the tale: don't mess with a person who's were given a robot arm and a dog by way of his aspect, or you may end up in outer area. So what do you men think about this film? Let me know in the comments beneath. And if you like my video, please press like and subscribe for greater